Alright, buckle up. Anime and Gulliver's Travels fans, get ready for a high-octane 5-minute summary of Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, reimagined as the wildest isekai adventure you've ever seen. In a world brimming with the unknown, one man, a humble ship's surgeon named Lemuel Gulliver, was about to have his ordinary life utterly destroyed and reborn as the most bewildered hero of them all. Our story begins as Gulliver, a hulking giant with a bewildered expression, wakes up. He's tied down by thousands of impossibly tiny but fiercely determined samurai-like warriors. Their emperor, a charismatic but ridiculously pompous tiny man, stands on Gulliver's chest, shouting dramatic pronouncements. Gulliver, in his inner thoughts, can only sweat and wonder, "My God, I've been summoned to another world, and it's full of chibi people, and they're pointing miniature spears at me." This is not in the job description. Despite his confusion, Gulliver quickly finds himself embroiled in their affairs. He helps the Lilliputians win an epic, but utterly ridiculous, war against their equally tiny rivals, the Blefuscudians, all over the proper way to crack an egg. There are explosions of miniature cannon fire, tiny grappling hooks, and Gulliver swatting away fleets like they're gnats. But the Emperor, now hailing him as Giant Sun, soon declares that Gulliver's immense power is both a blessing and a curse, and that they must control him, realizing he's become a literal pawn in their miniature political games. Gulliver makes a daring escape, running through their tiny cities like a kaiju, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake, though mostly just broken teacups. Gulliver's escape launches him into his next bizarre adventure. He's now no bigger than a doll, screaming in terror as a colossal farmer's daughter, Glumdoklich, picks him up like a toy. He's trapped in a world where everything is gargantuan. Flies are like eagles, and a cat is a terrifying, fuzzy monster. I've traded one extreme for another, he thinks, shaking. Now I'm the chibi character. My very existence is a comical tragedy. He's forced to perform for the giants, doing silly tricks with tiny swords for their amusement. He gets nearly eaten by a giant rat, dodges colossal hailstones, and almost drowns in a bowl of cream. He even has philosophical debates with the king of Brobdingnag, a wise but slightly disgusted giant who views humanity as pathetic, tiny insects. The king's booming voice echoes, "You little creatures, with your wars and your politics. You are nothing more than venomous vermin. Your civilization is but a fleeting speck." Humbled and disgusted by humanity's true insignificance, Gulliver finally escapes on a giant eagle, soaring into the clouds like a tiny, determined adventurer. Gulliver's journey continues as he lands on Laputa, a gravity-defying, steampunk-inspired floating island. It's home to brilliant but utterly impractical scientists and philosophers who are constantly lost in thought, neglecting their suffering subjects below. Their king is obsessed with abstract mathematics, while his people are starving. One Laputan sage, eyes glazed over, might be heard drawing complex equations in the air, declaring the perfect harmony of the celestial spheres can only be understood through the transcendental algorithms of the rhomboid paradox. Below, Laputa lies Balnibarbi, a land where every project to improve society has gone horribly wrong. Farmers trying to extract sunlight from cucumbers. Architects building houses from the roof down. It's a hilarious parade of failed experiments and wasted effort. Showcasing humanity's hubris and folly, a Balnibarbian project leader might proudly display a machine that turns ice into gunpowder, cautioning, "Behold, the future of warfare, just don't sneeze near it." Utterly disillusioned with humanity, Gulliver then finds himself in a land ruled by intelligent, rational, and virtuous horses, the Houyhnhnms, who embody reason and peace. They contrast sharply with the Yahoo's grotesque, savage, human-like creatures who are driven solely by their base instincts, a horrifying reflection of humanity's worst qualities. His Houyhnhnm master might neigh with dignified wisdom, saying, "We, the Houyhnhnms, live by reason. You, human, are a Yahoo, but with a faint glimmer of potential, though your kind are inherently flawed." Gulliver, seeing his own species reduced to these disgusting beasts, is utterly shattered. He tries to adopt the Houyhnhnm way of life, even trying to walk on all fours, but he's ultimately rejected, forever tainted by his human nature. He sobs, looking at his hands. "I am a Yahoo, a disgusting, irrational Yahoo. I can never return to the world of men, for I have seen their true, grotesque reflection." And so, Lemuel Gulliver, the reluctant Isekai hero, returns to England not as a conquering champion, but as a man utterly broken by the truth of humanity. He's now a recluse, preferring the company of his horses to his own family, whom he views with utter revulsion, seeing the Yahoo in every human face. He spends his days talking to his stable of horses, unable to reconcile himself with the follies and vices of mankind. Perhaps, he might whisper, humanity was the true monster after all. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more.